Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Charlie Cobra Reviews. And just wanted to say I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is going to be our review for Godzilla vs. Kong. If you liked the video, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to our channel for our latest reviews. And click on the notification button so you can be notified about our latest videos. Now, on to the review. I thought this movie was really good and it was a lot of fun. They fight more than once in the movie and there's a clear winner. I'm definitely glad I went to go check it out in theaters and get that authentic full movie theater experience and enjoy it the way that a movie with giant monsters should be seen. The movie started off really interesting right away, with us seeing Kong in his natural environment on Skull Island, almost like time stood still for him since we last saw him in Kong Skull Island, though he did look older in appearance. Right away you realize things are very different as we see that Kong is being monitored by hidden surveillance cameras in the forest, and he seems to have found himself a little friend in the young deaf girl who greets him. That's when we're thrown for a twist as Kong throws a tree that he ripped out of the ground at the sky and it shatters. We discover that Kong is inside a giant dome on Skull Island meant to hide him from Godzilla. We're then shown a montage of different graphics such as news articles and secret Monarch files of information on both Godzilla and Kong. It shows us that Godzilla and Kong have both defeated multiple titans and are seemingly destined to fight each other, as seen in the ancient cave paintings at the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters. I feel like this movie definitely had its good parts and bad parts, and while it was a ton of fun, it also had quite a few flaws. I really like the action sequences and monster fight scenes. The monsters seem to move a lot better than in some of the other movies, especially Godzilla when compared to the first Godzilla 2014 movie. The parts where they fought were some of the best parts of the film. I feel like the human part of the movie wasn't so much glossed over, but didn't really have anything that was very impactful. Nothing like the death of Ford's mother or father in Godzilla, or the soldiers in Kong Skull Island, or even the scientist Ishiro Serizawa in Godzilla King of the Monsters. In fact, I feel that Millie Bobby Brown's character, Madison Russell, and her father, Dr. Mark Russell, and the whole B-plot felt kind of flat or felt kind of unnecessary to this movie. There were also some major plot holes and things that didn't make sense to me that really brought the score down from it being a great movie, but I'll go over that in the spoiler section. For me, this movie was still really enjoyable and worth watching in theaters. It really delivered in what you wanted for a giant monster movie. So if you're thinking about getting it on HBO Max, I gotta say I give this movie my must-see seal of approval and give it a 7 out of 10. Okay, next up is going to be the spoiler section review, so I'll give you a little bit of time to pause the video or come back and see it at a later time. Alright, so let's dig into this spoiler section review. Now, this movie was really good and delivered the goods when it comes to Godzilla fighting Kong, and they fight more than once in the movie, and there's a definite winner. It seemed to me like the fight scenes and action sequences have only gotten better throughout the 4 different movies of Legendary's Monsterverse. There were some major plot holes and some things that could have been different or better to make it or take it from a really good movie to a great one, but it seems like they took what they learned from making the other movies and also maybe decided to play it safe. They did what they do good, and they did it better in this movie. It also seemed that they decided to give the audience more of what they want and kind of less of what they don't. So let's start off with how the movie begins, with Kong in this giant dome on Skull Island with a digital skyline that's artificial. This was a pretty cool twist and decent explanation as to how they're hiding his signal or frequency from Godzilla finding him and fighting or killing him. I feel like this wasn't thought out that well, or at least could have been done better or differently to kind of make more sense. I mean, I know the last time we saw Kong was in Kong Skull Island, which took place in 1973. So it's been around 48 years, and I guess that's plenty of time to have built a giant dome, but just kind of put into question the whole idea of how it would work for me, or to me. Did they build it first and then move him, or somehow build it around him while he was there? I mean, it left me thinking. To me, it was something that didn't make sense or needed a better explanation, but not as much as the whole scene in where they're transporting him by ship and didn't show us how they tranquilized him or how they got him on the ship or how they got those giant handcuffs and chains on him. I like how they showed Kong have the relationship with the little girl Jai and thought that she was probably the best human character in the whole movie. I really liked her performance and thought she brought a lot of heart to the film, which is probably hard to do since she was playing a deaf person and didn't talk the whole movie except for being able to communicate with sign language. There was an intro montage video showing a bunch of news articles and what looked like top secret files from Monarch that showed events that happened in the previous movies, like Godzilla defeating the Mutos from the first film, and King Ghidorah, and also Kong defeating the Skullcrawlers. There were also quite a few other squares of defeated titans they showed crossed off. They didn't say or explain who these other creatures were, but to me it kind of implied that Godzilla might have fought and possibly killed some of the other titans that appeared at the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters. I know this is mainly speculation because it only said defeated and not killed, but I wish they would have explained it more or actually shown Godzilla fighting and defeating some of these other monsters, and I feel that they really missed out on an opportunity to build on something they had already set up in the last movie. Anyways, so then Godzilla attacks Apex Cybernetics in Pensacola, Florida, causing the death of multiple people and making the government and others question if Godzilla is no longer their savior. We're introduced to Bernie Hayes, an employee of Apex Cybernetics, who runs a podcast where he speaks about Titan conspiracy theories and is actively trying to uncover sinister activities at the Pensacola facility when Godzilla attacks. He's able to find some secret documents and later locate a secret section of the facility and sees for himself some kind of technology that isn't anything that's supposed to be there. Then the movie brings in Madison Russell, Millie Bobby Brown's character from the last movie, and her father, Dr. Mark Russell, and her friend Josh, and shows that Madison is an avid listener of Bernie's podcast. Then we get introduced to some more characters, mainly Apex CEO Walter Simmons, and Ren Serizawa, the son of Ishido from the last movie, as they recruit Nathan Lind, a Hollow Earth theorist who believes they can utilize a Titan to show them the way as they intend to search for a power source in the Hollow Earth to create a weapon capable of defeating Godzilla. That's when they go meet with Dr. Eileen Andrews, the lead Monarch scientist and adopted mother of Jai, at the Kong Dome, and convince her to borrow Kong so they can do their plan. I thought that she kind of gave in rather easily to this plan, and that the plan itself was pretty bonkers. But if you really had to deal with a giant monster like Godzilla, what other options would you have? And the last character you're introduced to here is Maya Simmons, who is CEO Walter Simmons' daughter, an Apex Cybernetics person in charge of utilizing these advanced HEAVs, which are these specialized crafts capable of withstanding the pressure exerted by the gravity field protecting Hollow Earth. I'm not sure what was more unbelievable, the plan or how they had all this advanced technology like the heaves, which seem to be powered by this Tony Stark or Iron Man type propulsion system. So we get to the first really awesome part of the movie where Godzilla comes for Kong on the Navy ships while they're transporting him to Antarctica. Round 1, fight! And this first battle did not disappoint. It was pretty cool and Godzilla definitely had the advantage out in the middle of the ocean, but that didn't stop Kong from getting in some good licks and punching Godzilla hard more than once when Godzilla climbs up on a ship and also when Godzilla fights with him underwater. I'm big time Team Godzilla, but it was hard not to cheer for Kong as he was going to the people's rescue when he saw that Godzilla was going to easily destroy the other ships with people in them. Godzilla wins this one as Kong nearly drowns and is saved by the humans, and they decide to move Kong by air and use a fleet of helicopters and a giant rope net capable of holding him, which they got from somewhere. Hard to believe they had that one ready. But anyways, when they get there, Eileen gets Jai to convince Kong to enter the tunnel and find Hollow Earth by saying it's possible he could have family there. Now Madison and Josh are able to find Bernie and decide to sneak back into the destroyed Pensacola Apex facility, and they wind up getting trapped in a container on an advanced technology monorail system that travels over 600 miles per hour and takes them from Florida to Hong Kong. There they find that Apex has created a giant robot version of Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, utilizing the severed head of Ghidorah. It's shown that Ren is telepathically controlling it through neural networks in the severed head, and that the robot is severely limited by its huge power demand, which explains the true reason that they are in search of the Hollow Earth's energy source. The trip into Hollow Earth has got to be one of the coolest moments outside the giant monster fight scenes. It was really cool, and Hollow Earth looked really awesome. We're previewed to some of the cool animals there, like these giant flying snake creatures that attack Kong, some crab-like creatures that come out of the ground, and a giant lizard creature that eats them. Also these flying bat-bird creatures that we see better later. It's really cool also to see the way the sky in Hollow Earth is these upside-down mountains that have its own vegetation and life on it also. Now they follow Kong, who leads them to some kind of ancestral throne room, where there appears to be some kind of remains of a battle or war with Godzilla's kind, and Kong finds a giant axe made from what appears to be a Godzilla dorsal plate or spike. There was so much I wanted them to show and explain in this location. I mean, we literally get nothing. They don't explain what this throne room is, or why there are these holes in the floor for the weapons. There's even a really cool glyph of what looks like a snake with a Godzilla head or something, and it glows and encircles the throne. It would have been nice if they would have shown some sort of flashback to when the Godzilla-Kong war happened, or maybe if they alluded to something like advanced alien culture that was responsible for the Titans. But once again, we're given cryptic clues and left in the dark. Meanwhile, Godzilla heads towards Hong Kong, attracted by Mechagodzilla's activation when Apex tests it against a skullcrawler in its Hong Kong facility. Godzilla, now in Hong Kong, senses Kong below and uses his atomic breath to drill a hole into Hollow Earth, and Maya and her Apex team are killed after trying to escape once they got what they needed, which was a signature of the energy they found down there. I can't believe Godzilla was able to burn a hole all the way down into Hollow Earth, but damn, that atomic breath is powerful. I also didn't think of anything at the time, but one of the major plot holes of the movie is the whole thing concerning the power source. They decided to go all the way to Hollow Earth to find this thing, and when they were in the throne room, Maya uses this spider robot drone to get a sample of this energy. Then apparently that's all they need to be able to utilize it on the surface after she sends an email or a copy of it up there. That kind of makes no sense. I mean, how's that even possible? I mean, from one scan of it that they're able to have it up there on the surface, I mean, that's kind of a big hole. This and Godzilla blasting a hole into the throne room, caused those bat or bird creatures to awaken and fly around, attacking and killing all the rest of Apex teams, which was another pretty cool scene. Anyways, Kong grabs his axe, which is now charged up, from placing it in the floor of the throne room, and goes up the shaft, to face Godzilla. Round 2, fight. Now this fight sequence was the crown jewel of the movie and was extremely satisfying. This was the fight everyone was waiting for since the movie was first announced, and this time around, Kong is able to maneuver a lot better in the cityscape and has his axe, which proves to be both weapon and shield against Godzilla, as Kong is able to block Godzilla's atomic breath with it and even knocks Godzilla down and out. Round 2 goes to Kong. Godzilla, however, is not defeated and gets back up for round 3. This time they go all out against each other, and as the battle progresses, it becomes clear that Kong is no match for Godzilla and his atomic breath attack. Kong winds up running all over the city trying to avoid it, but eventually Godzilla strikes him with it and gets the upper hand. He claws at Kong's chest and winds up pinning him down, where Kong succeeds victory to him. Godzilla's victory is short-lived though, as just as he has defeated Kong, Walter orders Ren to activate Mechagodzilla with the new power source, which he quickly loses control of, as now the severed head of Ghidorah has taken over. I have to say that I'm not too big of a fan of the way that this Mechagodzilla looks. I think it could have been designed a little better, but they did make it just as hardcore as the original one. You know, the laser that it shoots out of its mouth that it had earlier was capable of cutting a skull crawler in half like it was nothing. Now Mechagodzilla begins to battle an already battle-worn Godzilla and proceeds to hand his ass to him, utilizing his many weapons such as all kinds of rockets, energy punches, and even an energy kick, and of course that crazy spinning blade tail. There was a part where he went all WWE on Godzilla and grabbed him by the head and threw him face first into no less than 3 different skyscrapers. Meanwhile, Jai runs over to Kong, who lays defeated on the ground, and hears that his heartbeat is fading. Eileen and Nathan make a plan to utilize the HEAV they escaped in and give Kong a shock to restart his heart, and after succeeding, Jai tells Kong that Mechagodzilla is the enemy, not Godzilla. This is when they team up and fight Mechagodzilla together, with Godzilla helping Kong by charging up his axe, and Kong cutting off Mechagodzilla's arms and legs, and giving the finishing blow, then ripping off his head and spine, Mortal Kombat style. The movie ends rather abruptly, not really showing much more except that Kong and Godzilla acknowledge each other before Godzilla leaves and they go their separate ways. There's no after credit scene, which was pretty disappointing to me, but we are shown that sometime later, Monarch has established an observation post in Hollow Earth where Kong now rules. This review is probably the longest I've ever done, but I'm a huge Godzilla fan and remember watching all the movies whenever they would show them on TV as a kid. I even checked out books about him in the library in elementary school, so this is something I'm pretty passionate about. Like I said, this was a really good movie, especially if you like the whole Godzilla Kong movie franchise, but it was riddled with some pretty terrible plot holes and an underutilized cast in my opinion. Still, I recommend this movie for people to go see in theaters or on HBO Max, and I give it my must-see seal of approval, and give this movie a 7 out of 10. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day and checking out this review. Remember to like the video and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date on our latest videos, and hit that notification button if you don't want to miss any. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you like watching video games, check out our live streams on Twitch, where we're streaming every day, and our other channel here on YouTube, where we post the streams at a later time. I'm Charlie Cobra, and have a great day.